When you're not allowing yourself to be open, you're just gonna error, message, error, cannot relay, feeling, meh, meh. We are in a time right now, as beings of human, for which we can communicate with each other. And even more gratefully so, we can communicate with each other across the world through the internet. We are a brain. Think of it like that. Some people are the artists. They're the visual cortex. Let's just put a symbol on that. Some people are the musicians. They're the auditory cortex. Some people are the demonstrators. They are the prefrontal. They're the connectors. Whatever. There's the amygdala people. They're the emotional, the romantic, right? The human experience is varied. And if we are to start putting more of a finger on the human experience, we need to start communicating. Our brain needs to start communicating as if it's on LSD, where the auditory cortex is starting to talk to the visual cortex, and where the emotional cortex is talking to the prefrontal cortex of human experience. And as we become to do that, we will realize more of the completeness of the human experience. Science is not going to do that. Now, if we collectively share and become the full brain of human nature, we will know the essence of humanity, just based on communicating. That is the thing. There is a beauty in the difference between us. People need to be the cells of the auditory brain, and people need to be the cells of the visual cortex. So your opinion matters to me. I take in everybody's opinion as if they are equal to mine. Some people are more elusive within their own thinking. Some people are more clouded, The collective human experience, some areas are more damaged, perhaps. Some areas are more hindered. Perhaps if you think about the feminine reality within the Western structure of man, I mean, Jesus, it took, until 1980 until women could be almost as equal as men? Like, that is a piece of the human brain that is being hindered, right? So we need to allow for everybody's opinion to matter, but it doesn't mean that you're right, and it doesn't mean that you aren't damaged in some way. It doesn't mean that you're clear-headed. It doesn't mean that you're not on drugs, right? But based on the nature of things around us, we can observe and relay it back within the cell of this thing, of this humanity, of this human piece of the brain. We can observe what's around us, perhaps feeling the hair is being pulled on my skin, goes up into this this nerve cell, right? This one. It's just like looking in our physical environment and relaying it back to this nerve cell, the human, and relaying it back out into the rest of the human brain. We all have a different circumstance, and we need to have that different circumstance. We are pushing ourselves or placing ourselves innately into the places that we need to be. And if we accept that, we can see our nature, and we can observe it without cloudiness, without being on drugs. Circumstances do not matter. Only your state of being matters. Only your state of presence matters. As we begin to become more of the complete brain cell, you can share more of your piece of the brain. This is why we need to chit-chat like a bunch of blabbering monkeys. When we're a kid, we're constantly moving with each other. There is no definition. We're more light. We're less dense. We're feeling, right? We're allowing, we're playing, we're talking, we're hitting, we're throwing, we're communicating so much. And we start growing old, and we start growing dense, and we start growing into certain pathways. Old people can't learn new tricks, right? So to speak. Perhaps it's just a way of being. I don't know. But again, look at your nature. Look at your nature. Everyone has a different nature, and we can all move towards a nature of the human collective brain if we are all moving and observing our natures. Not reality's definition, but our natures. The truthsome wholeness of our own authenticity will further relay and create an authentic brain of the human collective experience. I guess that's it. Be your part of the brain. Be your perfect part of the brain. Then you will allow for the most possibilities, and you will share your brain, your cell within the brain. You know, the more I learn and go back and hang out with old classmates and things like that, I've become so much more harmonious just by allowing myself to be. You know, it's not like my friends were extremely enlightened, you know, intelligent or idea creating like I am, but I can still be harmonious with them. You know, they might focus on some rather what I think is societally useless things, well, naturally useless things, but they're of societal origin. You know, that's the actuality. But I'm still rather harmonious with the experience of those people because I'm allowing myself to be open and I'm within my authenticity, for which I can then share, you know? I can share what I have to give. When you're not allowing yourself to be open, you're just gonna error, message, error, cannot relay, feeling, right? That's why I push so much for authenticity in the nature of our experience.